Eight of Wands, Seven of Cups. This is in reverse. Usually I don't do reversals, but I'm going to keep it that way. Page of Discs. Whoa. Three of Wands, Four of Cups, Five of Discs, and Nine of Cups. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Five of Swords. So, some of my cards just flipped out. They just slid right out of my hand, but they weren't cards in part of your reading. So, there we have it. Let me just look at this for a minute. Yes, I do reversals for private readings, just not for the general, usually for this channel. But this is how it wanted to come out. So, okay. All right, so Scorpio, you are starting. This is the Eight of Discs in the middle of the reading is like an internship, starting to learn a trade that takes guidance and takes patience, and that you have to toil at for a long time to reap the benefits. That's not something that is quick. It takes perseverance to learn this craft. And so there's something in your life that you're going to have to persevere through, whether it be a craft that you were trying to learn and understand more, or it can also be, it could be a relationship. It could be, updating your house too. And you're just trying to get through all of the nitty gritty. And crossing you, you have the Magician. So you have all the tools to learn this trade. You have everything that you need in front of you, but how you are going to wield that power is up to you. So the Magician can be a really powerful person, and I feel like Scorpio, in a way, this is you, the Magician, in this reading. That you understand this craft that you are trying to pursue, and so you can use it for good. You can wield it in a way that is positive for you and your surrounding family and friends. But there's also a temptation to it that you could manipulate it and use it for getting yourself ahead while others fall to the side. And I see that this is really tempting you, this other side of it, this kind of darker side of it, just because of the Five of Swords being the energy that's coming in from the past month, or the energy that you're carrying in, the foundation. Five of Swords is, fighting, quarreling, and doing whatever it is you need to do to get the outcome you want. So sometimes that's not the most honest, truthful, upstanding path, but you're willing to take it to get your winnings. So just be careful of this mindset of you have to win at any cost. And this card has been coming up actually for a lot of different signs. So I'll say the same thing to you, Scorpio, is at what cost are you willing to wield the power that you have? And we have the Seven of Cups in the reverse in the past. So this is lofty ideas, being inundated with wants and desires, not knowing which way to choose, having an overwhelming want for so many different things. But this is reversed. So in that case, it's you might not be thinking big enough. You might, be, instead of looking past all the negative and looking to the bigger picture and all of the possibilities ahead of you, you're being a little narrow-minded and keeping your head down when what you really should be is looking up. And so that could be what's directing you into this kind of feeling of, oh man, I have got to do this at any cost. That because you don't necessarily see all of the options you have. And so the Page of Discs in the future is offering you ideas, is offering you kind of like, I keep hearing the Page is offering you an out, out of this cycle that you're creating, of well, I've got to do whatever I've got to do to get by, which, I completely understand that, you've been working really hard, Scorpio. But the Page of Discs is saying, there's other things on the horizon. And so the page is also a very young energy. So it could be a child, it could be a teenager, and it could even be an adult, but with like a really childlike feeling to them. And they're kind of coming in saying, we can do this. You can do this. Um, and is looking towards the future in a positive way. Because you understand, Scorpio, that there are other options coming in. You do see that, you have more than one path. And I think that's what's really getting you right now. And, like, I do feel that it is more work related, because a lot of times the Eight of Discs, since it is a craft, has to do with your work. Um, and so you might feel like, if you are in a job where you don't see any future in, that's a reason why you need to pay attention to this hobby or this craft that you are doing, because that could be your message, that you need to start honing in on that, because that could be your out and your financial leverage for the future. And so follow that intuition of yours and see that there are choices, because this is in your subconscious, so you know that it's there. You just have to listen to it. And, we do have the Ten of Wands too. Here we are. And so you are working in that outer world. You're putting in everything you've got. This is, working with your burdens, working with what, even if it's hard, you're pushing through. And everyone around you can see that. And I know that you're pushing through because you see, once again, like here we are, we have the Three of Wands and the Eight of Wands. Okay, so here we have ideas coming in, and then the Three of Wands is you looking out for something new. Okay, you can't really see that very well. And I think you're afraid of this. I think you're afraid of this because of this past, not really getting what you want, not being able, like, things didn't pan out the way you thought it would. And so you're being hesitant and cautious of what you do. And so that's why also with the Five of Swords, it's like you're fighting a fight because you feel like you have no other option, but there are other ones. And so in the Four of Cups, here we are, you have some decisions to make, and you might just be fed up with having to make these kinds of choices. You might feel really overwhelmed, because we do have this reading has a lot of that feeling to it. A lot of those cards are like, I'm overwhelmed with choices. I'm overwhelmed with the work and the burdens that I have. I didn't get what I asked for or wanted, even though I was working so hard, and now I have to fight a fight I don't even want to fight. And so it's the world is trying to offer you another cup. And you're like, you already gave me three and they weren't what I wanted. So, Scorpio, take a look at what's in that cup. It might just be what it is you wanted in disguise. And I know you're afraid that you aren't going to be bountiful, that things aren't going to be fruitful. And that's your biggest fear, is that these things won't pan out. That this won't work, what you're doing. But that's just a fear. This is, you have, like, once again, you are the magician in this reading. So you have all the power, all the resources. How are you going to use it? Once again, I'm going to go back to, are you going to use it for good, or are you going to use it for to be manipulative, maniacal in a way? So make sure that, like, you are going on the up and up. Even with this fear, you do right. And if you do, here's a Nine of Cups, the wish card. You'll be sitting pretty, and you'll emotionally feel content and happy with where you are. Um, and this, for Scorpio, I really feel like this means a lot to you to be in this, to be in that position. Now, another thing I really want to focus on is um, you have only one major arcana in this reading. So your life in October is up to you, you know. And the card that is a major arcana, I really feel, is you. So the choices that you have and the choices you make can all shift this month, you know. So if you are coming in this position saying, you know what, I've been fighting, I don't like what I've done, I'm ashamed, I don't feel good about it, that you can turn that around, you know. This isn't, none of this is set in stone. Okay, so it's what you make of it that will shift October. Okay, I don't like I don't feel like this is a huge love reading, Scorpio. Like I don't feel like that's where your focus is on. I really feel like it's on this, the work, on the work that you have to do. Um, and honestly, I haven't had a lot of um, love readings in October. I feel like everyone's trying to get their stuff together. All right, so let's call on the angels. Okay, what's that one? This one? Okay. If you get nervous, focus on service. Let me show it to you. Okay, I'll read it to you. Put your entire intention on answering the question, how can I make the world a better place? And the law of attraction will automatically take care of your needs. You know, these angel cards have just been hitting it on the mark every reading for October. All right, so let me read that to you one more time. Put your entire intention on answering the question, how can I make the world a better place? And the law of attraction will automatically take care of your needs. Okay? So, that's this feeling that's coming in, of being nervous, of not, being left out in the cold. You're afraid that you're not going to get what it is that you need and want, and that, and because of that fear, you're putting up boundaries for yourself and others. So to combat that, it's find your center, be grateful, recognize where you are, and say, what is it that I can do to make it better? Instead of being the victim and saying, well, all of these things have happened to me, say, all of these things have happened. What can I do to help out? So just frame it a little bit differently for yourself. And I think that'll make October a lot more successful for you. All right, Scorpio, thank you so much.